We're with an independent FSU news organization. The FSU chapter of the NAACP released a statement saying that this event was hateful, inspiring violence to Black, LGBTQ, and marginalized students on campus. How do you feel about this comment?
Did you follow up and ask them what their evidence was?
You were talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and said that he has a troubled past and that the Civil Rights Act of the 1960s was a, quote, horrible mistake on the part of the U.S. government. There may be actions taken because of that belief that you have.
So different opinions make people feel unsafe at FSU?
They believe that it has a greater movement behind it, yes.
Right, so did you ask them, like, are you a child? Let me be very clear. The world is a really dangerous place where lots of people have different ideas. Just because someone comes and has a voluntary event and has different perspectives should make you feel unsafe. I've done this so many times, happy to do it again. When ending segregation, good. Going so as far to create a permanent affirmative action, basically diversity, equity, inclusion, Leviathan within the Department of Justice. Do you know of one instance where the NAACP has spoken out against the lack of fathers in Black homes in Tallahassee?
I can't speak on anything.
That's interesting. So the NAACP will make this huge thing saying Charlie Kirk is dangerous and unsafe, and yet they won't go to the Black community. Hey, we need more dads. Newsflash, dads not being around in Black communities is a much bigger threat to the livelihood of Black America than Charlie Kirk coming to Florida State University for 3 hours. Maybe the NAACP should stop trying to keep on ginning up this mythology of racism in the country and go after some of the core issues of what's been driving this country and Black America towards worse and worse socioeconomic results.
Why have we been providing abortions for as long as we have? If
as long as since 73. Remember, at one point, we were slaves,
yes.
And then we was wrong, right?
You're positing that this decision to have slavery in our country is the same as deciding to allow abortion. I don't think those are,
yes.
You can equate those.
Do you think slave masters considered babies in a womb as future assets and property?
Probably.
And they treated it as much, right?
Yes.
That's why they got them pregnant. What if I told you the idea of the value of a baby lessening once they lost control over that? Because it went from, oh, I no longer have a worker, versus, oh, now they're about to overpopulate us. And once they become overpopulated, then we lose white supremacy or power or control, whatever.
Right.
That was the idea when it was introduced in the 30s by Margaret Sanger. And when she came up, she was a eugenicist. She was like, man, the Black population is rapidly expanding. We need to do something about it.
Okay.
And one of those ways was abortion.
So what I believe about that, I believe that, I think that, give me a second to collect myself.
Really think young women are watching Bonnie Blue 1,000 Men and going, I think I could do that.
Yes, I can prove it. And here's how I can prove
okay.
it. 10 years ago, when OnlyFans started, there were not very many creators on it doing pornography. As this has become normalized and as there have been certain breakout stars, this is very mainstream and very popular, famous women.
Wait, so how does that prove that young women are watching it and going, ooh, now I should f 1,000 men?
My husband just was on a podcast with a girl who was like, yeah, I dropped my OnlyFans while I was still in high school. I started thinking about it when I was 15. And she literally said, I'm watching all these famous women make bank and become famous. They can get plastic surgery. And I want that. I don't want to work a wage slave job my whole life, so I started planning early. This is the result. It matters what we do, and it matters what we popularize in the culture. And to say it doesn't, and to pretend like, well, it shouldn't matter what I do, it does matter what you do, and that's what you realize when you get older.
Like, as far as guns go, so, you know, a lot of states, they have things like waiting periods, registration, background checks. You can't carry them in most, like, right now in DC, 99.99% of people here can't carry a gun here. So, I mean, would you like to be banned from public places?
No, I wouldn't want to be banned from public places.
You don't want the same rights as a gun, right?
No. What?
Because you said you want the same rights as, like, a gun, right?
Yeah, by the fact that they want the guns here in this country. They don't want my people here in this country. They want to deport us.
I mean, it comes with all these other sort of stipulations of you can't take it out in public, you have to store it in this way, we'll criminalize it if you do and we'll put you in jail. You got magazine capacity limits, you have background checks, registration, all these kind of things. Would you like to live under that sort of system as, like, would you like to be treated as a person that way?
No, I guess not.
Do you think that President Trump is making America great again, or is he making it worse?
No.
Clearly making it worse.
Clearly making it worse.
What is one specific thing that is making America worse?
Well, there's a lot of things that we
that's good.
say, but
I'm looking for one.
They're
I'm gonna start with
censoring
decreasing funding for the agriculture department DEI training.
Yes.
Okay.
They're, taking away several important educations of all Black history, of LGBTQ history. They're not letting us say words like gender or cisgender or all that kind of stuff in like studies and stuff, which is stopping from like really important things that like could be discovered.
Mass deportation for no reason.
For innocent people.
Exactly. People who work here who are providing for things that we use, like crops and stuff like that, that now have to leave and we won't have access to them and it'll make it more expensive.
If an individual entered the country illegally and committed another crime in the country, do you think that that individual should be subject to deportation?
No.
No.
I think it should be the same as if someone was born and raised here, did that crime.
Okay. You do know that 80% of Americans say that if you're in the country illegally and you commit something, as it can be just robbing somebody or something like that, you should be deported out of the country. That makes you guys, with the 20% of America, it's a pretty radical, I guess, position to hold. So,
I don't feel like this energy
Yeah,
is right.
I think we're
already
lost. I think we're lost in translation.
Yeah, we definitely.
Your bill, the Republicans' bill that they're trying to pass, they're trying to cut food stamps. They're trying to cut WIC. So what do you have to say about that? Yeah, if people are living on a shoestring about it, what are they going to do now that those helping things are gone?
First and foremost, it should be a safety net, not a hammock. And yes, we absolutely should means test this. People who are able to work should work, and we should not subsidize people that endlessly leach off of the federal government.
100%
Period.
Agree. What I'm saying is that there are people who do work and who still cannot afford it. So what do you say to those people who they are working, they're working hard?
I just told you, I just called
it.
BS on your whole scenario.
Let's go over here.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, thank you very much for being here. My name is Jane Peterson. I'm a second-year MPP student here at the Kennedy School. And I wanted to ask, since the last time you've been here was in 2016, I wanted to ask a question about your job as a White House spokesperson. In that role, you said things that were often pretty audacious, often caused people to question things that they have seen with their own eyes. And so I'm curious, in that role, I was always wondering whether it was a survival response in what seemed like it was a very chaotic White House, or was it a strategy? So was it strategy or was it survival? You know, all the bantering with journalists, the alternative facts. Was it strategy or was it survival?
Do you know what alternative facts meant?
I'm aware.
Can you please explain it for us? So tell the person who uttered it on her third Sunday show the day looking into a blank camera and then immediately said what I meant.
Well, we can also do other examples. I mean,
No, you can answer the question though. You have to be fair. You're not going to go back 8 years and do that.
Well, I asked you a question about your role in the White House.
You gave me two choices. You gave me two choices and they're both inaccurate.
So alternative facts, I'm assuming mean...
Oh, you're assuming. Go ahead. I've talked about it in many interviews. I wrote a whole book about it.
It's interesting that you decide to come here and know that you're going to be accepting questions from students, and yet...
Okay, so then I'll answer it. Thank you for your question. I gave you a good chance there, and it's a great chance for you because I don't need any more airtime. I get plenty of it. So I think your choices were survivor's response. That's rich. Or since you know nothing about me. Or banter. What was it? Something else silly.
I said strategy or survival.
Strategy.
Not survivor's response.
How about trying it? First of all, my job was counselor to the president. I said no to press secretary. 42 minutes after President Trump was elected, he offered me that job. He said, you'd be great at that. I said, I would be terrible at that. I'm not even sure what they do. Some days I'm still not sure. Clearly I'm not sure after these 4 years. The border's secure. President Biden is behind the scenes. He's a trapeze artist and a triathlete. You just can't see it. So I hope you take these same concerns to the people who have lied to your face for 4 years in this administration, all the way to this crushing defeat of a sitting vice president who could have been the first female president of color in our nation's history, but instead had to eat and own all the lies that had been told by this administration. Alternative facts was very simple. It was, I meant to say alternative information, additional facts. It wasn't George Orwell. It wasn't a new set of facts. And you can read my whole book. There's a whole chapter about it where I explain it.
Why do you like
see you?
Why
Are
do you
y'all
like,
stupid?
Why do you like abortion so much?
It's fun. Nobody goes up. I don't know. Just because it's cool. I want every woman here to get an abortion. What the?
How about that?
Guys, this is the future of our country. They just love to kill
You're
babies.
On the opposite side. You're like,
Yeah, I don't want.
left, you're too right.
I don't want babies to be aborted.
Everyone's gonna get the woke mind virus. We're all gonna like
Wait,
our gender and everything.
How many vaccines have you had? How many times have you been vaccinated? Have you been vaccinated this year for COVID?
No.
But why are you still? Honestly, though, don't you think it makes it harder to breathe with the mask? Not forget politics.
actually-
I'm saying politics aside. Let's not even talk politics. But don't you think that it is harder
You know
to
what
breathe?
makes it harder to breathe? How much pollution these corporations pump into the air.
What I mean is, like, you seem like a nice person. I know you said some mean stuff to me, but like, why wear the mask? Like, it just seems.
Because I want to. Damn, what happened to freedom of expression?
Okay, I agree. If you want to wear it, you can, but it just looks kind of scary.
Okay,
COVID's over. Like, there's not. You don't need to live in fear. You don't need to live in fear.
Are you being a
anymore.
snowflake right now?
Yes, I am, because you seem like a nice young trans person, and
I'm not trans. I'm a cis woman.
Oh, damn.
I am a girl. Damn,
Sorry, I thought you were a boy. I apologize. I thought you were a boy.
You've never seen a girl with short hair?
I don't know. You have Vans on. You have jeans on. It's hard to tell. We're on a college campus. It's hard to tell what is what. I apologize. I'm sorry, young lady.
I can tell. What happened to men can't be women?
What? What? Yeah, men can be women. Men can be women. You can't be a man.
You just refer to me as a guy.
Well, I thought you were. I apologize. Yeah, it's hard to tell these day and age. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You guys don't even know your own politics at this point. It's very sad to see.
No, I know my politics. I just couldn't tell if you're a boy or girl. I mean, I don't. But you should be able to. Like you. Actually, you're trans enough. You could pee in the men's restroom. I think, and nobody would.
Trans enough?
Yeah. I don't think anybody would get mad if she went in the men's restroom.
Yeah, you're trans enough too.